Welcome to a new spirit that will warm your heart. Welcome to a new spirit. Every day's a brand new start. Where encouraging words can heal your soul and dreams will be renewed. Welcome to a new spirit, a new spirit in you.
White knights and black knights aren't just for playing chess. Welcome to the New Spirit Radio Show by the Society of Novus Spiritus, founded by world-renowned spiritual teacher Sylvia Browne. Well, I wrote today's date as May 11th of 2022, so I hope you all agree with me. Coming to you live from California, both NorCal and SoCal are your hosts, Reverend Tom Bigley and MIT Catherine Taylor, playing audio segments we call Messages from Spirit. Why? Answering the ultimate question, why are we here and what is our purpose?
These segments are recorded trance sessions from Francine, Sylvia's spirit guide. For new people, Sylvia was a full trance medium, which means Sylvia contracted to let her and Francine essences exchange places in Sylvia's body. And we think of our bodies being similar to a car. One driver gets out and another driver gets in. This allowed Francine to share spiritual knowledge with us directly from the other side.
On occasion, another master teacher and healer, a guy named Raheim, would exchange with Sylvia and present us with spiritual information as well. Francine and Raheim shared directly from sources like the Akashic Records, Mother and Father God, our spirit guides, Christ, and many others.
And meanwhile, during trance, Sylvia would sit on a nice bench on a rose garden on the other side.
And here are our hosts, MIT Catherine Taylor and Reverend Tom Bigley.
Hello!
Hey!
How is it
Where are
going?
you? You're over there. There we go. Cool. Let's see. It's going well. It's not as we're not in a hot mess like I sort of kind of was last week. So hey, it's like, well, I think I should apologize, but hey, it's more like I'm grateful we're here this week and able to share. So and I also trying to juggle things at the same time. I've got screens going on in different directions. Let's see. So our agenda, we'd like to start off with, how did you use Novus philosophy in the last week? And in this case, 2 weeks. So if you want to share, put it in the comments. We'd love to hear how people, how this helps people, as well as we're going to share with you. There's some announcements I'll have coming up, and then we'll talk about special prayers in a moment of silence. We will play our trance segments, then share a wonderful meditation, and then we'll talk a little bit about closing notes, a novena, which is a special prayer, so pay attention for that. We'll express some appreciation, and then we'll conclude with a prayer by Sylvia.
Beautiful.
Let's see, how did you use Novus Spiritus philosophy last week?
Well, I suppose I have a few things I look forward to sharing. But in the meantime, everyone in chat, if you have something that you would love to share, we would love to hear from you. So while Tom and I are chatting and sharing what our week entailed, please let us know if there was anything special that you used of Novus philosophy. We'd love to hear it. Tom, do you have something that you would like to share first?
I have sort of.
Sort of. Okay.
The challenge is, one, so I consider myself lucky to be here this week. So yeah, it's more on the lines from what I'd spoken earlier about asking for more white light, but not just more white light, but more archangels and so on to be around me to fend off more of the negativity, which seems like it's done some help. I don't feel so disorganized in situations. Nice. and less, seems like less negativity, so less confusion or less concern of what's the right word? confusion. And
Nice.
where was I've also been thinking about visualizing too. So what is it, we feel when we feel fear or anxiety or um, I can't do this, or and I stop to think, wait a minute, negative thoughts, the implants, the records that we've been told about that go through our minds. That was coming to my mind, and I started thinking, okay, how do I visualize past that? That's one of the things we've heard about, and I think we're going to hear about it again. Is visualizing yourself beyond this current situation and seeing, how you'd like it to play out. If you feel anxious now, hey, you've gotten past that hurdle, and you see yourself going on, continuing on, as it were. And so that's one of the things that I've been thinking about is recognizing when I'm anxious and issues that are causing anxiety, from finances to family activities to variety of things. It's picturing myself beyond that, and that I'm doing well, doing better, visualizing myself getting past it and feeling comfortable. It's kind of like, when you get a cold and you're like, oh, I feel so miserable now. Picture yourself beyond that, when feeling better later. That's what I've had to stop. And how do you visualize beyond what I'm so it's coming up with new ideas, coming up with new visuals for myself, to picture myself beyond into the next.
I think that is so powerful and beautiful, and I'm glad that that is working. And we get to listen to some of that today about Raheim talking about um, asking for more white light and protection for the spaces that we're living in, and kind of some of the things that the other side sees. So that'll be interesting to hear, and it ties right in with what you were just mentioning.
Fun.
I want, yeah, and I want to say hello right back at you to everyone in chat. Um, Melissa, Catherine, Karen, nice to see you. Kathy, um, Gibson shares she was hit with one negative thing after another this week. Locked keys in the
Oh.
cars, stuck
Oh.
in gas line. Oh no, stuck in a store line. And I think I was getting 20% negativity, so I took a deep breath, demanded more light, and let it go. Amen, sister.
Great.
Mm-hmm. I hope that everything smooths right on out for you. Karen shares she misses Sylvia so much. True story. True story. WW says hello. So hello to Michael, Naomi, Gina, Jeff, Beth. Everybody was so happy to see you. Miller's Tansy, hi, nice, glad that you made it too. And Catherine says hello from Tacoma, Washington.
Hey,
Fantastic.
all right.
Hey,
I've got family up
cool.
there, relatives up
Oh, nice,
in that area. I used to joke that
beautiful.
it seemed like uh, um, I knew half the people in the Seattle Tacoma area because both
Funny.
my parents have relatives up there.
Oh,
Our family, like our family tree, is up in a good portion of Washington.
cool, cool, very cool.
Hey, can I get a shout from the YouTubers and Facebook people? Does the video look okay? I was just grabbing a monitor here, and I started seeing like fancy colors, and I was like, "Wow, that's real pretty," but we don't look like that. So I wanted to see if you could verify that we look normal.
Linda says it looks great.
Okay,
Glad
cool.
to,
All right, that
very
was
glad to
just
hear that.
my yeah, just my reception here.
With
Anyway,
as many like little technical glitches as we get, which from the from our show, it's always nice to have some reaffirmation that everything looks and sounds okay. So thank you so much for the affirmation. Great, thank you so much, you guys. And also hello to I just saw some Craig and Linda. Nice to see you too. Craig
fun.
says he would love to come down to the church when this mess is over to recharge my spiritual battery. Amen to that, brother. I give you a big hug from afar, right there with you.
in the meantime, visualize that, we're all in the same room. We're all in a space together and, sharing that energy. That's what I talk about with the novena. As we all visualize that we're all holding hands together, regardless of when you hear this, and went for church services too. Imagine, picture all of us together in the same room. So that's gonna get that. We're drawing on, we're connecting synergistically, and that the more you connect with that, the stronger that is for you. The more you do that, the your physical body is going to go, oh, that feels like we're in the same place, and it's going to resonate the same.
Um, okay, so I suppose I should go. What did I use of Novus philosophy this week? Well, I thought about how a couple of episodes ago, Francine was talking to us about how we should feel like not feel afraid about talking about beliefs, especially to friends that we feel some simpatico with, and because we may have gone through things in our past lives where we've been persecuted or and not want to go through that again. But she's reassured us, you're not going to go through that again. Just take a breath. It's okay to share your beliefs because everything that we believe is very, very logical. And I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? And I've gone through a lot of my own experiences um, that are just my personal experiences. You can't argue with them. Like I went through them, and I'm
Right,
sure everyone
right,
listening has gone through something too. Where you're just like, if you experienced an angel, like what's like you experience, like that's what you went through, or if you had
right.
an astral dream that was incredibly powerful for you, you went through that. You can't argue with that. So we all have these spiritual experiences, and so I was like, all right. And um, so over this past week, I've been a lot more vocal than I have in some other parts, with just like talking just in straight terms about things that I believe, and just sharing my experiences of things. So I had some really nice conversations with a couple of different people, and it was just very it felt really, really positive and really good to just be able to to share that God is loving and caring, and you know and gives tons and tons and tons of experiences like this, so that we can all just talk about it. And I was thinking, like, if we all did feel more if we all did go through more steps to just tomorrow go out and talk about the actual solid experiences that we've had, it'd be a really different world. And so I was like, okay, I'll talk from my experiences. So that's what I did. It was a really nice week.
Fun, fun. It goes back, we talk about experiences, and it reminded me of each of us is a spark from Father God, and each of those sparks are unique and has a unique curiosity to satisfy. So that's the origins of our. So it's to me, it's like, okay, think of how many different um, ideas that Father God wants to experience, wants to, how do you say, well, wants to experience, basically all the different shards, all the different avenues, the observations, and for each of us, it's a different reference point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're all experiencing for Father God to satisfy our unique spark of curiosity.
Has anybody posted what they want to share?
No, just Gibson earlier saying that she demanded more light. And Linda shares, it's beautiful to picture all of us together. And uh, she said we should feel like we can chat more about our experiences. Amen to that. And Jill, hi Jill, nice to see you. Um, she says she missed everyone. Happy to be here through though joining late. I'm so happy that you're here. It's all right, girlfriend.
Cool. Yeah. At least you're here.
Mhm.
Where, how, who, what? Oh, so the next thing,
Special
I think,
Chris, maybe?
almost. I put
Almost.
something right in between there called announcements.
Ooh, announcements. Nice.
Um, yeah. So, an announcement that I, how do you say, wished I could have put out last week as well. Announcements, minister training. If you are interested in becoming a Society of Novus Spiritus minister, there will be training starting in October is the plan. Ellen Schloss will be, Reverend Ellen Schloss will be hosting the training program. And I want to get it started promoted now because you will, it'll be required to have read and completed the novitiate exams that go along with the Journey of the Soul books. So if you've ordered a Journey of the Soul book and um, I don't recall when or how the novitiate exam for each of the books is handed out. If I know study groups, people that are in study groups, if you get those books, you get the novitiate exam with it. So for each one of those, the Journey of the Soul books, there's an exam that goes with it. Fill it out. That'll need to be done prior to October. And so it's going to take some time if you haven't started. So I encourage you to start now. Let's see. And the application will be, later. It's just get the novitiate exams done now as soon as you can so you'll have them ready. And eventually we should have information up on the website so you've got more details on it. But the key point is get started on your novitiate exams.
So Linda asks, definitely wants to know more. Do we order from you?
No, not directly from me. Um, Send an email to the office@novus.org, or call the office 408-379-7070, and I forget the extension. Yeah, I was just talking about. So yes, contact Bob at the office and he will send you out the novitiate exams. Yeah, that's the way to get them.
All
And you
right.
can order
Excellent.
your Journey of the Soul books with, when you order your exam, order your book if you don't have one. Makes it a lot easier. Minor note to go with that. We encourage you to use the Journey of the Soul, the manila colored one, the one that the cat just showed us. We encourage you to order those to do your novitiate exam because that's what the novitiate exam is referenced from. There are there are other publications that are the Journey of the Soul books, but those are book one, book two, and book three, and they don't quite follow the novitiate exam, so it might be a little more challenging to
Yeah.
do your novitiate exam using the published books.
The
That
published books
the
are abridged. They're
yeah,
shorter.
yeah. Um, that's a better word, abridged. Or- They're not the Reader's Digest version, they are abridged. Anyway, the minor note, but I thought it'd be helpful for those of you that are interested. So, and look forward to finding out who's going to join in on that.
All
Now I
right.
can't. Oh, come on. Stop it. My phone won't open up, so I can't read the rest of my. Make sure I finish my notes. Cool. I think that covers that. Now,
Yeah.
yes, we do have special prayers. So, um, what you feel is needed. Visualize the outcome for your. If it's just for you, great. If it's for someone else, visualize the outcome for them. Uh, that energy gets out. It doesn't matter when or where you hear this information. You're putting that energy out. God doesn't pay attention to our videos, and when they're happening, it's like you put that energy out. That's like, ding. That's a energy's going out, and you're making a call to the universe. So let's see. Let's take a moment. We're gonna. What are we doing? we can hold hands, visualize anything you like, but we're going to take a moment of silence and ask that energy goes out, or archetypes, or even Lilith, whatever you think is needed to get help for those of you that are in need, or someone that is in need. So let's take a moment of silence and we'll put that energy out. Amen.
Amen.
And again, if you've got something special you'd like to post in the prayer chain, yes, we put energy out for all of those posts in the web chain as well. And again, be the prayer. If you see a need, fill it. Let's see. I think we've done pretty good with who is listening in. We got one. Our friends from California, Northern California, are listening in.
Oh, wonderful. Hello, ladies. We love you. Also, I just wanted to say, I see someone posting in chat. Terry shares that she's been with Novus since 1998 and used to be a study group leader. And I will be finishing my novitiate degree this time. I want to be involved in the MIT program. Yes.
All right.
Amazing.
All right. Let's see. For anyone that's got is challenged by their the YouTube or Facebook feed, at this particular time, and you want to listen live, feel free to call into our conference call number, and you can just listen over the phone. We've had people that are driving in their car that wanted to listen in, so it's available. So that number is 888-534-2696 while we are live. And of course, I do ask that you please keep yourself muted, to help others be able to listen. Wow, it says the next item on our list is trance segments. So we're supposed to share trance segments.
Awesome. So that means I need to get over here to share what we are going to be discussing.
Well, I have to get out of the Sunday service files to be able to play the right segments for tonight. So, well.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for your patience, everyone. I thought that I had this open and I didn't quite have it open all the way. All right, so here we go. So we are continuing on from with Raheim. And Raheim is giving a talk about healing. So, continuing from last time. Chemotherapy also weakens the system. Vitamin C for candida and Epstein Barr. Some viruses that can cause cancer. Too many antibiotics cause germs to become resistant. And Dr. Carl Symington's white knight image.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Take notes.
Yes.
How does chemotherapy, Raheim, react upon the human body?
It destroys all the antibodies in the body. Now, if you talk to any physician, they will tell you.
Toxic.
Oh, it's poison.
Exactly what is it? I don't have a clear definition within my mind of
It's a metallic substance that goes through the body and supposedly is supposed to be like a bomb that blows up cancer cells. What it does is weaken the system so the body has no defenses anymore. If it were something that was laced with, let's say, a rejuvenator of cells, maybe, but it is not.
There is a program I watched recently on television about AIDS patients doing a very high concentration of vitamin C drip, and I'm talking about 100,000 to 200,000 units over an hour period, and they come in 2 to 3 times a week, and they're miraculously being recovery.
It's the same thing they're doing in Los Angeles for people with candida and Epstein Barr. Is the vitamin C drip. Because you see, that's an immune deficiency illness. Yes.
It's kind of, I've read a lot about macrobiotic diets where people have just figured, well, they said I'm going to die, so I might as well. They start juicing vegetables and fruits and having fish, and what happens is their body goes, wow, I'm clean now I can fight everything off. Whereas if you put metallic poison in you, that's not only going to make your cells that are dirty anyway, they're just going to kill them off.
There was a woman that Sylvia talked to about 2 weeks ago. She was talking to Aina about it. I happened over here. I eavesdrop a lot. This woman had cancer all through her intestinal tract. The doctor said we're going to have to do a complete colostomy, which is the way it does in medicine. And of course, with the colostomy bag, everything else goes unattended, and the next place it hits is the liver. And then, of course, the secondary place is the lung, and then the brain. Did you know that if cancer starts in the brain, it usually doesn't go anyplace else? It's amazing. Anyway, just a little bit of medical sideline. The woman said to the doctor, get away from me, walked out of the office. This was 5 years ago. 5 years ago. The woman did what brought this to mind went on this macrobiotic juicing, lots of fruits, but kept her protein count up too, with her fish and her crustaceans and her aminos, and did this by pure infusion. She saw the doctor after 5, I think it's going on 6 years now. The doctor said, well, it probably was a misdiagnosis.
Yeah, I've read a lot of things about that, and they say, oh, well, we misdiagnosed it. We're 6 doctors, and this person that had it in this book that I was reading was a doctor. And they said, well, we must have misdiagnosed you. And he knows that wasn't.
This is, if you're talking about this doctor, we're familiar with this doctor because this doctor was up in San Francisco who had it all through his spine. He had it totally, what they call, you call it metastasized. We call it fluid moving. We call it different. We used to call it years ago, we used to call it the wasting illness. You call it cancer. But even then, you see, because no one ever gave them the prediction, you see, the Orient has it over so much because they don't tell their patients they're dying of cancer. And they have a 70% cure over this country. 70%. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot unless you're a person who has cancer. Then, all of a sudden, those statistics mean a lot to you. The only reason that we're centering on that is the same as, strangely enough, is a virulent, you won't believe this, and this is not to put an implant, but a virulent of cancer, they're going to find out, is an offshoot of the common cold. Oh, my. It's a antibody of, it's like a body, I should say, of the common cold. Now, if you get a cold, you're not going to get cancer. It's just a virulent form of it, a very tiny virulent form. We have no cure for that, except we do know that if your resistance is low, you're going to get a flu and a cold. And we always believe that you see, and you have these now in your shots, which is not too different than what we used to have, because we used to try to get ourselves infected at a young age with any type of illness so that we could either die or fight it. Now, it seems like a drastic situation, but we would do that in my culture. The same as many doctors now are divided in camps of whether to let a child get chicken pox or to have the vaccination. But it's the same thing. It's to subject the body to what is the illness so that you become insulated against it. Now, the strange thing about it is we see doctors all the time who are not only have come over from your side, but we're also watching them on your side. We're seeing that they take all types of antibiotics and everything else to keep themselves from illnesses, but they're not prescribing them for you. Now, there is also a great danger in taking a lot of antibiotics. And I said this to Francine to tell this to Sylvia 30 years ago. 30 years ago, if any of you had children, 30, 35, 40 years ago, the minute your child got sick, they wanted to put them on ampicillin or whatever. Those children who are now 30s and 40s are at more risk of having anything go wrong with them than even the ones coming up now, because every time a child got a sneeze, a cough, immediately that pink stuff was administered to them. And so it was a form of penicillin. And so what happened was the viruses became so sophisticated. For instance, if Roger has a flu and he is taking an antibiotic, that flu bug jumps from him to you and you start taking an antibiotic, you won't beat it. He's already immunized his flu bug. He's trained it.
Well, and isn't it also true that not only have I trained the virus, but I've also changed my own receptor sites so that they're no longer adapting to normal body function?
That's right. They're so immune to any human being that they just go rampant. They're already licking their chops. They've eaten the... you see, it hasn't killed it. What it's done, and nobody knew this. We're so far into the dark ages. It's like somebody operating with a rusty knife. Is that what they didn't realize? It just became stronger and jumped out of you. But then it started having muscle then. It became stronger, bigger, grew a beard, became mature. And then it began to split itself. See, that's what's so dangerous about your AIDS virus, because it not only hides, but it converts itself to act like all the other cells. Now, this is a sentient enemy. This is a thinking enemy. And Symington was so smart because he really got his dragon chasers out with the dark knights and the white knights, because he knew that that possibly would cause a resonance in the cell memory. He didn't use those words, but it's exactly what it is. So when you start getting something, scream first no, scream secondly that you're going to go on a rampage. And you could also do this with your fat cells. Did you know that? Yes, get lost, go away. Get those knights and start whittling on your hips and your stomach and whatever else you wanted to whittle on.
Some fun, observation and think of how else you can use this for yourself, help, not just with cancer. I mean, there's and so much of what Raheim was talking about resonates with what we're dealing with now with the COVID issue, the COVID and the vaccines and the new variants that are coming out. I heard a news article about the challenge with the AIDS virus. I mean, they were excited. I've heard people, the way I understand this, the report was there were people excited in the AIDS community dealing with AIDS that the new technology used for coronavirus can also be potentially used to help with AIDS issues. The challenge with AIDS is it's been going for so long, there are so many iterations of it, and then we're seeing that with coronavirus now, the new iterations of it. And that's what started years ago with AIDS, and it's increased the variants over time. So there's a whole lot of them, a whole lot of variants that they have to deal with. But they were excited to understand, the new coronavirus, or how it was developed to work with us, is an eye opener for that community to hopefully they can work, use the same technology to develop better medicines for HIV. Oh, can I help you with? Okay, now speak.
Whoops. Thank you. I was on mute. Yeah, no, it's really amazing. And also, the trance that we're listening to is here. This is my cat. He's hanging out. It's Java. Um, so the trance that we're listening to is from 1995, and I want to really like give some appreciation to the fact that he was Raheim was so insightful into knowing that there are some viruses that cause AIDS, not cause AIDS, cause cancer. Excuse me,
Uh-huh.
I'm misspeaking. Um, so that is a known. That is something that science knows now. He was dead on to how antibiotics will like overuse of antibiotics has caused superbugs and that are extremely resistant to any treatments. So like he's yeah he's done just a great job of giving us information that's 17, 20 years old. um,
Yes,
so
there have been, and I think I spoke with this earlier, or spoke about earlier. Yes, there is new technology for cancer. It's the um, its origins still have sound similar. The origins and what it's doing still seem to be the same. Uh, um, but ultimately, it is up to you how you want to treat it. And some people are like, no, I don't want to go through the what may be a horrible medical procedure, and that's fine. That's your choice.
Mhm.
Learn about it, understand it, and decide for yourself which direction you want to go.
Mhm.
Because it could be very simple, yet it's treating the symptom, not the cause. Um, when I was listening to this, it reminded me of, you know, to my understanding, where does that cancer come from? Our body has, if we have pent up energy in us and don't let it out, it expresses itself physically in the physical body. And it reminds me of like unresolved emotional issues, whether it's the current life thing or past life thing, and you've carried that over. You have a carryover that extends, phobias and things like that, that are, how do you say, you've ignored them. And I'm not trying to make you paranoid. It's just, you ask for awareness. Say, well, okay, what is it that
Yeah.
I'm avoiding? What is it that I'm afraid of? What causes my anxiety? And ask for, pointers, and trust what you get, the help you get. Um, um, it's those unresolved things. The bodies speak of, I couldn't get something off my chest, and so the person may get cancer. And in a case, breast cancer. I recall somebody talking about, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, somebody having breast cancer. It was because they couldn't get something off their chest. They felt confined and never were able to resolve that. Um, and everybody's different about that. It's do the best you can with what you've got in the situation.
Absolutely.
When you have, there was talk about the I think the colon cancer, or the lower intestinal tract having to be removed. What is it that you couldn't get rid of? What were you hanging on to that you couldn't let go of? That portion of the physical body is about elimination. What weren't they letting go? Yes, we have these experiences that put us in these circumstances, and they're, that's all a part of the lessons for us. Learning what's next. What do we do? Oh my gosh, look at the situation I'm in. It came from this or that, and uh, um, you know, it, we got to stand up and move, and stand up and figure out, what's that next step for us.
Hmm.
Finding our own truth.
Absolutely. Also, as a A reminder to listeners, we've heard about Dr. Carl Symington in the past. I believe he was an oncologist, and he had a lot of success with teaching his cancer patients a mental visualization of visualizing like their immune system as being white knights that are fighting black knights being the cancer. And he like his cancer patients had a much higher rate of survival in comparison to the average. So it just goes to show the incredible power that our mind has with our willpower, and that the body does listen to the types of symbols and messages that we're telling it.
And yeah, the visualization, which is fun to me. It's a fun concept of, it's our the physical body, responds better to visualization.
It does, yes. Well, should we look at the next segment?
Sure.
All right. All right, our next segment. Passion makes good health and heals mental illness. Evangelicals with successful healing. Should be interesting to listen to. Dark entities can cause anxiety and pull on your will. Pray for your spaces and bedrooms to be shielded from negativity. Okay.
Yes.
Going back to your opening premise that the judgment and the will are the prime source of healing, would you give us some examples of how we might administer as healers to others to kickstart their judgment, will, and plant words, magic words that would make them begin to have that passion, the zest,
But you said the word passion. That's it. That's where it rests. The passion to heal, the passion to make well. Mind, body, and spirit.
I guess I want a formula. What could I say to this sick person that I'm trying to heal to kickstart their own internal process?
What you say is, you being a male, put your right hand over the person, your left hand over, and then what you say, by the will of God that is invested in me, only by your will, not somebody appointing you, by the will of God, and you don't have to say this out loud, you can say it secretly to yourself. Sometimes it's very powerful, because that's how evangelists sometimes get healing, because they're screaming so that I think the germs just jump out. But you've got to realize, I'm saying, you've got to realize is that the chemistry is changed during fear, or change, or diet, or movement. And so what you say is, by the will vested in me, I am able to change your cells. You, with the help with me, with God, are now in the process of changing your cells, and you will be healed. Now that sounds very evangelical, but it's true. You will be healed. And any words that you can say to that effect with vehemence. You see, why healing occurs in many of these evangelical situations is people are riled up to a high stimulus of almost frothing excitement, and the chemistry of the body changes. And so the winding of this music and dance and thumping and screaming, but you don't have to do that. You can do it with the passion and will of quiet serenity like our Lord did. He never bounced around and screamed. There is no text, Old Testament, New Testament, that prophesizes, or even Dead Sea Scrolls that ever said he acted like anything but a genteel man. Yes.
Relative to what Francine gave us about the cellular recall, I don't know, something came up with me about a 7-class paradigm that we could do and teach here that was relative to the cellular recall, but looking at it now, it almost seems like it's helping people who don't just have philosophical base reinstall that willpower.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
This is the correct paradigm then.
Exactly.
For 7 classes that basically
teaches willpower, structure.
And each person that leads to the class after going through the 7-step process teaches the next to do the same thing.
You know what's even more amazing about this? This heals mental illness. This also heals the soul. It also, strangely enough, gets rid of all these nasty things that come out at night.
Well, I envision 7 classes like, now you have to tell me, this is probably your vision. I'm just thought, it's 7 classes, hour lecture, half-hour meditation, 15 minutes into the description. You go step by step, working in time frames, the sciences, physiology and the etheric nature of substance, then going beyond those limits into meditative immunology, to the health, energy, and freedom, and then we get into creating reality again.
I like that very much. In fact, I think you should do it. Yes.
I think it comes somehow with confidence, because I got a blow, an impact with the collision, and was having really upset, just jolted out of my wits. I was really frightened.
Yes.
And I had horrible pain in my back, a lot of terrible pain in my back. And I sat for healing, and Jane, I mean, he just more or less told it to go away, and I mean, it left.
It left.
Yeah, it just...
Oh, yes, you can tell it to go away with the vehemence and the conviction that you are not going to allow it.
No, and he felt it was leaving, and so then I knew it was leaving. And
it left.
It left, yeah.
You see, the strange thing about it, if most of you had an x-ray, a total body x-ray of your body, I'm sure you'd find all kinds of strange flukes.
Well, aren't they things like my dad couldn't get into flight school in the career or whatever, where passed everything but one leg was like a half an inch shorter than the other or something?
Everybody's is.
Yeah. So what's this? I mean...
He wasn't meant to do it. He would have crashed and burned.
They all did, but yes.
That's right. And he was the one that not charted to go. Plus, I think they were playing politics with your dad anyway.
They didn't want him to go.
No, he was too smart.
Didn't get to do what he wanted.
No, but he was too smart. He was too inventive, and they wanted to control him. You see, and your family's never been into control. Ooh. It's a miserable thing. We're seeing more and more of that occult control.
But then, the thing you said about this thing that comes out at night, I hope you can explain to us, because sometimes it doesn't seem like where you are at night. I used to think, okay, so you've got to should try to get in by certain times, stay out of bad neighborhoods, lock the doors, all of this. But I mean, at certain times, you can feel peculiar, even in the comfort of your own room at
Oh,
night.
yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes, yes.
So
yes, because darkness can tromp through your room. They don't usually stay, not with a candle and not with you praying, but darkness tromps through. But you see at night, because things are quiet and the busyness of the day, you don't notice it. But they tromp through all the time. They don't come through here because there's too much grace, but they can tromp through everywhere. I've sat here when I've been lecturing to you and seeing darkness tromp through outside, like legions. The Bible says legions, and there's legions of dark entities. They can't harm you, but they make you very, very uncomfortable. Anxious and fearful and invade your dreams, and that's not to scare you. They can't hurt you, but they're so annoying. And they can have a tendency to pull on your will. And really the term be gone. Not just Satan, but dark entities. Ask for your archangels to come around you, give you peaceful dreams. Ask for your army of soldiers to come in. They will come in and block that. Sylvia makes a link of archangels around her bed every night because she's a prime target.
It's the noisiest house you can imagine.
Well, her bedroom is the noisiest. I'm sure nobody could sleep with her. Not that any of you thought of it necessarily, but and if you have, that's all right too. Love is love.
Why is it noisy? How do you mean noisy?
Her bedroom?
Yeah.
Oh, well, and aside from that, it's just noisy. Everything pops, cracks, footsteps,
wiggle.
Things like you'll be standing somewhere, like I hear the tub pop.
Oh, yes.
It just
The toilet flushes.
Oh, and the water runs for hours and hours.
No. Water faucets turn on. The knob spins. The water comes out. That scares the pee out of it. Man.
Her children, when they were younger, would not go in her bedroom. They said felt like a vortex. If you ever get a chance, and a lot of that is grace, I have to tell you, if you ever get a chance, sometimes when you're wandering by her room, just step into her room sometimes.
Your head gets fuzzy.
So much energy she emits. So much energy.
At night, her room literally glows.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, her bedroom too glows. Just glows. There's so much energy in that room. And it's not from her that the popping's from the negativity.
Oh, it's like it's banged against something or grabbed.
Here we go.
Noises. Oh my gosh.
This is interesting.
Makes me wonder. Now, where I'm at here in this house, our room used to do exactly what they're talking about. It's not just, to me, there were too many noises going on that it's not just a house settling. Houses, as the expression goes, if it had settled as much as noise was made, it would have fallen apart. We'd lay down and we'd hear, crack and creak in the ceiling and the roof, and on occasion the shower would pop. It would sound like somebody slapped something in the base of the shower. We're like, what? What? So it's, and there's nothing in there to make it go pop. And now, what I'm not sure how to think about right now that we don't hear that many noises as we used to. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But man, yeah, I understand what they're talking about, the noise. And Raheim was suggesting, when Sylvia was around, go into her office or poke your head into her office. Yes,
Yes.
I'm not sure, I'm still trying to get for myself to be, as a healer, to identify what that is that she was doing. And it was just emanating, God's energy. And very practiced at it. And yes, you would definitely feel it. That was the whole idea. Well, I want to say the whole idea is you walked in and you were like washed. You were blessed and clean when you go through, and it helped you with your reading with her, and helped you spiritually to move forward from there.
Absolutely. Naomi asks in chat, I heard Sylvia used a nightlight to help with the spirits. I think I've heard her talk about nightlights before as like a practical suggestion if someone is bothered, but I can't remember.
I recall it's something to the effect of, if it's pitch black in the room and things go bump in the room at night, for some people it's like, that's a little scary for me. Okay, turn the light on. And at least when you get woken up, you'll be able to reference something in the room and say, okay, well, maybe I do feel something sitting on my feet, but at least I don't, it's not an actual physical body that's in there that shouldn't be in there. We do have I still, get jolted up like, that doesn't look right. And when I remember a funny one was one of our, now I can't remember if it was a birthday or one of our kids, but there was a balloon in our bedroom, and a helium balloon hanging in the bedroom. Well, after a couple of days, the helium doesn't hold the balloon up anymore. Well, guess what? In the middle of the night, somehow I got woken up, and here's this head-shaped thing that's not at the ceiling anymore. It's about head height. Well, is that normal? Is that supposed to be there? And your mind says, wait a minute, that's not supposed to be here. What is that? And I like, ah!
Oh no, Tom.
Startled from.
Oh, no, Tom.
Then,
No.
so a nightlight would say, you'd see the color before you had a chance to react and go, that's not right.
It's funny.
Here's another silly note was that scared, well, literally it scared the pants, not didn't scare the pants off because my pants were already off. When I had gotten up in the middle of the night wearing long johns and it was cold. And so when I went to drop my drawers, the pants, the long johns lit up as I was pulling them off. It was dark in the bathroom. Okay, I didn't turn the light on, and it was dark, and I just dropped them, and it's like that scared me because it's like it looked like there was like an aura going down my legs. I'm like, hello, what is this? And the expression, it scared the pants off me. What the? Well, learning all these fun things about, for trance and spirits and all this, I'm thinking, worst case, I've never seen this before. All it really, I think it was
Static.
extra static that is not normal for this territory. So that made it even, more unbelievable or unrecognizable. But, just imagine dropping the drawers and rings around your legs looking like oars dragging down. Like, what is going on? Middle of the night.
Too funny.
You're half awake.
It's
Anyway,
too funny.
silly stories.
That's too funny. That's great. Yeah, I didn't realize how I didn't really realize how much negativity can actually like go through our house. And
Mm-hmm.
so that kind of surprised me, but it makes sense because now I'm looking back and I'm thinking about all the times where sometimes you're just hit by anxiety that you can't really explain, or you just get into a bad mood that you can't really explain. And so I think I'm going to be more diligent about saying prayers for my house and sleeping space, house and bedroom um, for the coming month, and just see what kind of difference that might make.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Fun.
Yeah.
Any
Very
people
fun.
leaving comments in the.
Yes, they have a few comments. Excuse me while I pull it up really quick. So Denise shares that she burns sage and cedar. That is great. Um, Gibson says, "You were lit up, Tom."
Yeah. Yes.
Get some people chuckling about your story. Gibson also says that Sylvia did mention using a nightlight because people were running through and she couldn't get any sleep. And Jill also says she did say something about that, leaving a nightlight on. So, okay. And who else? Gibson says that she surrounds her bed, house, and neighborhood with archangels. That's great. Linda says she does the same thing too. And Naomi says, I think the nightlight was for comfort. She always had a nightlight, so I recommend a nightlight for people that see spirits or think they may have. Okay.
Things that
Yeah, just a
our
little
brain normally would say, that doesn't belong here.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Cool. All right.
We're ready for the last.
segment. Yeah,
All right.
last segment. Here we go. Raheim doesn't like Deepak Chopra or Ayurvedic treatments. Spicy. Okay. The brighter your light, the more you attract negativity, unfortunately. Tell earthbound spirits to go to God. Totems will jump on your bed. Practice vehemence with small things. Screaming out the word no or yes engages your body chemistry. Okay.
So yeah, start small like a habit, and Never mind. I'll think of the point later. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Yes.
And all that.
It's not, oh, everybody says it's a settling house. How much does a house settle? If it settled as much as they said it settled, you wouldn't have a house. It would be a rubble.
There's somebody walking through all the time and you don't feel like you're alone.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
Backing up to cancer and all that, how effective is ayurvedic treatment?
What is it?
Ayurvedic.
I've never heard of it. Tell me what it is.
You mean it's like iridology?
It's
Well,
Deepak
three or
Chopra.
4,000.
Oh, it doesn't work at all. I'm not a fan of his. He's too commercialized for me. I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
So who's that?
Deepak Chopra.
Yeah. Too commercial. If he's so good, let him give out his money to people and quit making all of it. Give it out to people. No, I'm sorry. I've known him on the other side. I wasn't thrilled with him then either. I've also known him in a past life, and he and I were arch enemies. So I have no none. Yes.
What you're saying leads you to believe that if the lighter that you are as an entity, the more activity would be going through the room at night. Is this the conclusion?
Oh, absolutely, yes. The better an entity you are, strangely enough, this is certainly not something that you would find wonderful to aspire to, but it happens by its own. The lighter, the brighter, the whiter the entity you are, the more, yes, the more maws of darkness come
to you.
You ever notice that dark entities, nothing ever happens to them? They don't even believe in anything.
I will, but it's nothing to fear.
No,
it's really not a fearful
from
thing.
personal experiences and more so that
They can't hurt you.
No, I understand it, but I'm finding more activity or waking up more often because I think there is activities that I've had to keep the candle on.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Watch your candle that you don't burn your house down, though.
I saw something standing in the hall like 2 or 3 nights ago, and I swear it had on a sports jacket, like a Yale jacket, that yellow color.
Yes,
and
yes.
navy. And I was so tired, and I sort of reared up, and looked, and I thought, well, now I know that door is there, and I can't see the louvers and stuff, and now I know, and I got up and looked at the book, and then I thought, oh, I'm just going back.
Oh, say, go away. You see, not only that, but you'll have wandering spirits that are earthbound too. You won't always have darkness, but you'll have wandering spirits, and a lot of times they will come towards you because of your light, because they want to be addressed. In other words, and so a blanket command is, if you're lost, go to God. If you're not, fine, then go away. Go away.
Are we going to see our loved ones and our spirit guides making sounds and communicating?
Oh,
Let's not
absolutely.
confuse all the sounds here now.
No, because they will. And usually, if you say to your guide, if it's you, then make another one. They will.
Or our totems rustling around.
Oh, totems will rustle around and jump on the bed, and if you have an elephant like Sylvia, you don't want that trumpet in your head. Yes.
Is Sylvia's finger okay?
Sylvia's finger is much better. And I know when you grabbed it, you did a healing on it.
Thank you. But the thing I wanted to ask, it's nice to be in your presence again.
It's wonderful to be in yours.
The other day I burnt my finger and I thought, I should say, go away. But that's missing the point, isn't it? You have to, what you were talking about, say it with the
vehemence.
With the vehemence. I said it with the intellect part.
That's right.
And it didn't work.
No, emotion.
Yeah.
Emotion does it.
And, another time I should have been in a car wreck and I said no.
Yes, and you weren't.
And I weren't.
No.
And the person stopped and got out and looked at their car, knowing that it was damaged, and was amazed that it wasn't.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
I don't know how to get that vehemence on that.
Well, I think that it's not so important, although you should practice the vehemence of. It's very much like when you see people doing karate, the scream. You see, that's a very ancient thing, but it was a scream to bring power about. the focus and the power. It's been through so try it with small things, or try it with just a supposition that maybe something's hurt. See, when Sylvia broke her finger, she screamed, "Oh no, it's my nail." Was thrilled to find out she broke her first joint, not her nail.
The nail was fine.
Yeah.
If she had said, "Oh no, my finger," it would have been healed right away.
But for somebody to break their finger, it shouldn't be that fast. But John really did what they call a secret healing.
Have you ever taken a number 2 pencil and snapped it? Yeah, that's exactly the sound as you hit that door. Bam! Snap!
Good bones.
Oh, it scared me. I was so scared I fainted.
Start, to answer your question, John, start by every day imagining, you won't bring it to yourself, but let's say imagining that something could happen, and the vehemence of the no. This is a program thing, no. In fact, it would be very good for you to start with, no, I won't get cancer, no, I won't get heart trouble, no, I won't get, and then on the other side, then pick what you would like to have. I would like to die of a stroke when I'm 86 or whatever.
Massive stroke.
Yes.
It's a full body experience.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something that just stops you.
No, it's a full body. It's a reaction.
The more the entire body is invoked and physically invoked, when you feel that in your toes.
That's right. That's right.
She burned her hand.
Yes.
She said no. Full commitment.
That's a full commitment. That's right. And you can do that. I mean, at first it might be a little bit contrivance, but then you get into it. It's like acting. It's like acting, and then it's sort of like emoting. And when the teacher says to you, get up and do it again. Now here's your motivation, says the teacher. This is your motivation. Your mother has died. You're going to have tears. Your father's whatever. You've got motivation now. You're emoting. And the more you emote with this action versus, as you say, the whole body reactionary, and with the intellect intact, but push the intellect a little bit to the side as a sentinel watcher, and then evoke the emotion. So, John, you'd have the whole thing. And so practice. No! And you'd be surprised. When you do that, if you all said no, you find that all of a sudden you get a flush. Mm-hmm. Your body begins, your heartbeats speed up. And so just the very fact of screaming out the no. Your whole body chemistry goes into. That's right. That's right.
And beyond screaming too, as you have just done, this is physically feeling it in your body.
That's right. And try it with me. Do this right now. Say this. You don't have to be loud. Just put your hands up like this and go,
I won't be Paul.
How about you will be smart? All right, so now do your fist, and when you say, and do it with feeling, so that you shake and you say, no. Did you feel it?
Didn't work.
Do you feel it? It's the emotion that brings it. Now feel the flush. You can almost feel your cheeks flush. Your body, yes, you get hot. The same thing you can do, you can say, yes, yes. And that brings about an affirmation of power. Yes, I can. How many times has Newt Rockney stood and said, come on, winners, come on, scream, let's go. And they went out and won. Or the general that stands in front of his army who screams, we can do it, we can do it. Let's all, yay, ray. They run out and they do it because their adrenaline is pumping. Adrenaline is good. It is good. But you don't use it the right way. You dispel this golden liquid through your body at the most stupid things that we see. Stupid things. I mean, you get your adrenaline pump because you're afraid that somebody's going to call you that you don't want to talk to. Silly things we see you do. We see you pump out this adrenaline. No, say to your adrenal area, only be there in wait and watchfulness that you can give me such a great spurt of energy. And you, Ed, should ask for your adrenal to go to the prostate area. And say to yourself with all vehemence, I am well, I am healthy, I have no cancer in my body. I am a strong, living, total entity. I have no cancer and I will not permit it in my body.
Hey, I was trying to write notes. What's going on here?
Snuck up on you.
Yeah. What was coming to mind was some fun relative ideas that we've heard about in the past, and what came to mind, Raheim's talking about, get that we should be using our adrenaline for specific things, not for anxiety and not for hoping that someone doesn't call us. And it reminds me of, it's like animals. Animals get these huge, have these wonderful huge bursts of adrenaline to get up and go, whether they're a prey or predator. The huge bursts. And what happens when they become anxious? Vets are so paranoid of, watching the shows. The vets are very paranoid about handling the animals because they're anxious. And what's that doing? It's pumping them full of adrenaline that can kill them. Because they're like, oh, and animals don't physically, to my understanding, don't like to be in anxiety for long periods of time. They're used to like short bursts, but they're huge for them, is the way I understand it. So it's similar to us. It's not good for us to be sitting, anxious, because we're pumping the adrenaline, and it's like save it for the helpful moments. And what was the one? So vehemence also reminded me of, anger. Raheim's, the way you hear him express it, it's like, oh, get up, say yes or no. It's invoke that emotion. And one good motivator is anger. Get angry at the situation. I was trying to remember whether it's the great activator, motivator, or it's the anger. Get angry at the situation. Guess what? Anger's an emotion, and it's an easy, it's easily triggered. Yeah, it's easily triggered, and that becomes part of the the process. And it reminds me of what John was saying. The opposite of that is, oh, don't do that. It's like thinking, don't feel hurt, don't bleed, don't. It's not, you're not emoting anything. It's like you're just telling it, and there's no, to me, there's no energy behind that. It's the emotion is getting that energy behind it.
Yeah, it's fascinating to think about. And a lot of people don't feel as much comfort in getting into their anger and being able to express their anger. And
right,
just as a reminder, like Jesus flipped a table and took a cat o' nine tail whip to people who were the
money changers. The money changers
right, at the temple, who were trying to make money off of his teachings. And he was like, no. So if the Prince of Peace was able to get that angry, it is okay. It is okay to look inside and be like, you know what, I'm feeling pretty angry about this, or I'm going to allow myself to get angry at this situation because it needs to move. I need to have some movement going on with this. It is not the same thing as being hostile. Being hostile is very, very, very different than
being aggression.
Angry. Right, exactly. It's aggression. And so anger, think about it as being a situation where you're going to clarify a boundary, especially a boundary that may have been crossed or violated. And you are saying, no, this is what I want my life to be. This is what my life is. This is what respect for my life looks like. And this is the way it's going to be. And that is a healthy expression of anger. So it's it's okay to let yourself feel that. It is a normal emotion and it is healthy. And we, especially women, are socialized to not express our anger as often as men. So, but it's healthy. It's a healthy, okay thing to feel.
Yep. Emotion is the mover, and a mind divided is, not functioning. It's cement your emotion intellect. It's emotion is the mover, but think about what you're doing.
Absolutely. So if anyone has any thoughts, please feel free to pop them into the chat, and we'd love to see what you think, or have any questions about. Absolutely. And let's see here. What do we have next, Tom?
The big M for meditation.
Meditation. Very nice. Okay.
So for those of you that want to participate in the meditation, we encourage you to sit with your feet flat on the floor and your palms upward on your lap. For anyone that needs to pay attention to what they're doing, don't pay attention to us, but by all means come back and listen to these wonderful meditations in the on-demand. And of course, that would mean scrolling and scrolling and scrolling on Facebook, or go to YouTube.
Go to YouTube, yes.
Look at the show list, and you'll find us there. Because actually, we'll be on top, won't it? Anyway, where did I hide those things? Okay, I normally put them. Hope that's. Yep, let's try that. Enjoy.
Find a nice place to sit upright, with your feet flat on the floor, and your hands up on your lap. Now, take 3 deep breaths to start relaxing the mind and body. And now close your eyes when you are ready.
This is called Jesus and Your Spirit Guide. You are walking along a sandy cliff. As the mist starts coming up from the water below, you suddenly feel Jesus beside you. The two of you begin to see a pathway down the cliff to a beautiful beach. When you reach the beach, you sit off to one side on the sand, each leaning comfortably against a palm tree. Jesus places his hand on yours, then looks to the side and walks over into the shadows. He brings out a beautiful beam of light. This beam, you realize, is an entity, a spirit. As these two walk towards you, you recognize this spirit. It could be a loved one from the past, someone who has gone over before you, or your spirit guide. Feel the love coming. Jesus puts your guide's hand in yours. Clasping hands, you feel a surge of energy that is the love of God. A part of you is witnessing this scene from above, this amazing spiritual communion here in the sand. But up here, you can feel the love of God the Father and the Mother Goddess, who is called Asna. Feel the warmth of this wonderful, loving family. And then down here on the sand, take a few minutes to quietly talk to your guide. At this moment, ask about anyone You know for whom you wish healing or about whom you have a question. Silently converse with your guide for a few moments. Come back to this place anytime you wish and feel the wind blowing on your face and the sun beating down. This can be your private chapel away from home.
And now, on the count of 3, bring yourself all the way up, back to full consciousness. 1, 2, 3. Fully and totally awake.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That was I'd love to hear what people in chat may share about that experience. And while you're typing, I wanted to share one of the first times I meditated, and it was at one of the early services. There was a meditation led after services about meeting your spirit guide. Your spirit guide comes to you. Well, what comes to my face? After we've been talking about dark entities and cowled figures and in trance sessions, now I get this broad image in front of me in the meditation of this cowled figure and a skull.
Oh my goodness.
It didn't scare me, but that was the image. And I think it might have scared the minister more than me. It wasn't a scary thing, but that was the image. And I thought, and I shared that, and that the minister at the time was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go ask Sylvia," because she was across the room. And sure enough, she said, "Well, that's your spirit guide." And for me, it was like, oh, that was what was the meaning of that? Why was it shown me that way? Get to the bare bones of things.
Get to the bare bones of things. Interesting.
That's that's the normal dress attire of that my spirit guide uses is the the cowl. Like
that's so interesting.
Not the what we envision of like dark entities. It's the
it's like a simplistic.
Well, the friars of old, the wise men of old, wearing the hoods and the whole full length coat, as it were, from days of old. So it was that kind of attire. So yeah, they come to you in a variety of ways. And no, I have not gotten a solid visual of what my spirit guide looks like, even after all this time. But what was interesting, this one was I was starting to get more of like a cartoonish sense of what my guide looks like. His name is Martin, and I'm not quite ready to get that image yet, solid image yet. I think there's too much how do you say, what's the word? I miss the other side so much, it's upsetting.
Yeah, understandable. Kathy says that she likes that Tom and this says beautiful, and that she was with one of her guides, which is lovely. Miller says that wanted to say I was feeling such love. I'm so happy to hear that. And let's see here. Some other things that, some other comments we have. Naomi shares, I like to use a candle in certain rooms and a cup of salt water, and I'll leave that in the corner of the room. I leave it until it evaporates, and I hear that it cleans the energy of a room. Nice. Nice. And Melissa says that something that she's reflecting on now is, I think I just learned that I am holding on to fear internally, and thus depression, paranoia, and panic attacks are being triggered. So, yes, doing some release. That's some hard scrubbing, but I believe in you. Jill shares that was very emotional. I said sorry to my spirit guide for not acknowledging her lately. Sometimes we let our busy lives get in the way. I'm sure your spirit guide loves you very, very, very much and completely understands. It's okay. So try not
They're
something
not
to beat yourself up about.
they're not as humanized as we are. That you should feel embarrassed about. They understand. They see what you're doing, and
Yeah.
they're they're not isolated like we are. When a spirit, we don't. They don't feel spiritually isolated as we do, thinking that, oh my God, I had forgotten about them, and they feel all alone and left out. And well, no, they're connected with the other side. So you can get angry with them, swear at them, cuss at them, and they understand. Uh, um, the situation that we're in.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Besides, they said they agreed to go along with the ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
knowing what we'd be going through. So I don't. You're not. We're not here doing this on purpose just to be spiteful to them.
No.
But yeah, on occasion it's like we're not thinking about them. We're dealing with our current life situation.
Hmm. Naomi says, sometimes I apologize for not acknowledging my spirit guide too, and I just say, hi, I forgot, but thanks for being here for me. I also say something similar as well. So it's like, thank you so much for being a friend and being there. Linda shares, I get homesick feeling as I'm sitting at home, and I know it's for home on the other side. Yeah. Yeah, true story. So it's good to just take a breath and know that we can ask to go there in our dreams, or do meditations to visualize it, or read one of Sylvia's books, which always paint such beautiful pictures of the other side as well. So
yeah,
these are all ways that I cope.
If you have any questions about what we shared, feel free to post it in chat or email us questions to kat@novus.org or tom@novus.org. And of course, we do appreciate the listeners, both live and on demand. Show your appreciation for New Spirit Radio by sharing, promoting, liking, hitting that subscribe button. Let's see, there's so many other things I hear people talk about in other, videos of what you should be doing. But the more subscribers that we get on YouTube, the more tools that we can utilize on there.
Please subscribe on YouTube. Please do it. Yes.
Yes, on Facebook, share, like, promote, tell everybody about us, and forward. Yeah, share. That's the one. Share and like and subscribe. That's always helpful in promoting. So check out our websites, novus.org, sylviabrowne.com, chrisrightnow.com. Our Facebook, yes, we are Society of Novus Spiritus. There's the Sylvia Browne group and New Spirit Radio Show. Yeah, and we're posting live on that Facebook page as well. Let's see, there are several study groups that have Facebook pages. You can participate in those. YouTube, you'll find us, Society of Novus Spiritus, as well as Chris's YouTube channel, Psychic Awareness. Yes, he's been doing live Q&As, so watch for those. And raise your hand if you have heard the latest Sylvia meditation that was just put out. There's a meditation video, so go check it out on, you know what, I hadn't looked on Facebook, but it's on YouTube. So go check it out there. You can find it on Society of Novus Spiritus or on Psychic Awareness. Really nice meditation with video. If you want to donate to Novus Spiritus and get something in return, start a study group. You'll learn more about our philosophy. You can learn more on the website. If you want to get something and donate, go to Amazon Smile and sign up for your Society of Novus Spiritus to be the nonprofit that you want to send your donation to. Church services at this time. You can watch Sunday service on Facebook and YouTube. I post a ceremony, yes, on the first Sunday of the month when I can. So yes, I did post one, and yes, there will be one. Is that future and past or something? I thought it was supposed to be that way. Yeah, you can look for future ones as well as past ones, and listen in for classics by Larry and Sylvia. If you want to participate in a special Zoom service, look for go to the website and post your email, and you'll get a notice when the next invitation comes along. Reverend Ellen Schloss is hosting a special service on Zoom. Let's see. What's next?
What's
Novena.
next? All right.
Novena. So, to participate in that, just picture all, and it doesn't matter again when or where you are. Visualize all of us holding hands together. That we're all creating that ceremonial or synergism together. And for new people, just visualize and we're all going to say this phrase together 3 times. The phrase is, I am God, I am part of God, I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Just say it with me, because I'll lead it. We all say it together, and watch for the blessings. After each three times, I'll let you know what we will be asking for. So here we go. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, ask for things for yourself. Okay. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, ask for things for others. Okay, and the last one. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, picture our light going out like a beacon for others seeking this spiritual knowledge, that they find us and learn what they're seeking.
Amen.
Oh, wow. Let's talk about appreciation. show your appreciation to Francine and Raheim for researching all of this wonderful knowledge. How? Calling on them or using the information. Of course, we want to appreciate Sylvia for coming to this insane asylum of the universe to start this movement and for showing us how to get some peace of mind and grace while we're here. Of course, Asna for helping us and protecting us. Father God for providing the most prestigious school for us to experience, learn, and satisfy our unique spark of curiosity. Thank Bob for helping with some of the music and graphics. Sammy and Javon for our wonderful intro-outro music. Setting up and hosting is MIT Catherine Taylor. Editing, technical direction, and hosting is Reverend Tom Bigley. And now, a prayer from Sylvia.
All right.
Somewhere in here is a prayer. There we go. And enjoy.
Spring Equinox Prayer for Morning. Dearest Mother Asna, in this time of spring equinox, we bring to you all things living and growing. These offerings, plants and seedlings, are a symbol of the growth within our own souls. To show our love and our devotion, we offer these tokens. Oh, dearest Asna, help us grow in wisdom and grace in the fertile garden of your beneficence. Each seedling represents our souls reaching through the negativity of this planet and stretching towards our fulfillment and Gnostic enlightenment. Help us through this month, this year, and all the days of our life to honor and adore you. Intercede for us to the Father and make our journey of life easier. Amen.
Music. And Kat's going to tell us.
We love you so much, and I can't wait for us to be together again in a week. We'll see you then. Good night.
For so long we have ignored you, as if you were not there. All praise went to the Father. We were so unaware that through the years you've shed your tears for all the pain we bear. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You've planted every blade of grass, creator of the stars. And when I'm feeling down and out, you mend my broken heart. So now I sing this song of thanks because of who you are. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You're more than a friend to me. You give me everything I need. In your peace you hold me tight. You are the bringer of the light. With no fear we boldly stand, because you hold this